The moment a commercial aircraft touches down, the tires slam into the runway with a force exceeding 80,000 pounds. The rubber heats so rapidly that visible smoke erupts from the surface. The structure compresses, absorbs, and recovers, all within a fraction of a second. And then, it does it again, hundreds of times across its operational life. How do you build something capable of surviving that? How do you engineer a product that absorbs that level of punishment repeatedly, reliably, when the consequence of failure is an aircraft full of passengers at 250 miles per hour with nowhere to go? The answer begins not in a factory. It begins in a jungle thousands of miles from any runway on Earth. Your car tire operates at around 35 pounds per square inch. A commercial aircraft tire operates at over 200 pounds per square inch. That is 6 times the pressure of your car tire. A fully loaded Boeing 747 weighs over 400 tons. Every ton of that weight is distributed across just 18 tires, and a single aircraft tire costs between $5,000 and $40,000. A Boeing 747 needs 18 of them. These numbers define every decision made inside the factories that produce these tires, and they explain why the production process is unlike anything else in manufacturing. In the plantations of Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia, workers begin before sunrise. A skilled tapper makes a single precise diagonal incision through the outer bark. Within seconds, a thick milky white liquid begins to flow. This is natural latex, the biological foundation of what will become one of the most demanding rubber products ever manufactured. A single mature rubber tree produces just 1 to 2 ounces of latex per day. To gather enough for a single aircraft tire, the daily output of dozens of trees must be combined. What emerges is natural rubber, with tensile strength and elasticity that no synthetic material has ever fully replicated. But natural rubber alone cannot meet the demands of aviation. The formula requires something more. In petrochemical complexes, molecules derived from crude oil, butadiene and styrene, are joined through polymerization into long, stable chains. The result is synthetic rubber, more consistent than natural rubber, more stable across extreme temperatures. In the compounding room, both types are blended together. In an aircraft tire, natural rubber makes up 70 to 90% of the total content. Carbon black is added at 35 to 50% relative to the rubber by weight. It is also what turns rubber from off-white and soft into the tough black material on every aircraft tire. Process oils, sulfur, accelerators, and anti-aging agents are added in precisely measured amounts. Everything goes into a high-speed internal mixer. The compound that comes out is not just rubber, it is an engineered material designed to perform at extremes that would destroy anything less. But the compound is only the skin. The real strength of an aircraft tire comes from what is hidden inside it. Inside every aircraft tire, completely concealed beneath the rubber, is a structural skeleton that most people never know exists. The reinforcing fibers are typically high-strength nylon or aramid, the same class of material used in bulletproof vests. These fibers are woven into dense technical fabric sheets with exceptional tensile strength relative to their weight. Before use, the fabric passes through a rubber coating system where heated compound is pressed into every individual fiber under high pressure. Every fiber must be fully encased. Any uncoated fiber is a potential failure point. Aircraft tires use bias ply construction, fundamentally different from the radial construction in car tires. In a bias ply tire, reinforcing cords are laid diagonally at alternating angles, layer after layer, building up a rigid interlocked carcass. An aircraft tire contains between 12 and 20 of these ply layers, depending on its size and load rating. Each layer is applied individually and pressed firmly before the next is added. At the same time, the bead assemblies are being built separately. The bead is not a single wire. It is a tightly wound bundle of multiple high-tensile steel wires, coiled under controlled tension, compressed into a concentric ring. Any deviation creates an imperfect seal and a potential failure point when the wheel rotates at landing speed. all components converge at the tire building machine, the central workstation of the factory floor. The machine operates around an expandable metal drum. Unlike high-speed automated car tire lines, this machine works at a deliberate, controlled pace, every layer verified before the next begins. First, the inner liner is applied to the drum, a completely airtight rubber layer that will hold over 200 pounds per square inch of pressurized nitrogen without allowing a single molecule to escape. The reinforcing plies follow one by one, each laid at its calculated angle, pressed firmly, inspected. On the largest aircraft tires, this is repeated up to 20 times. The bead assemblies are then mechanically positioned at both edges, and the ply ends are folded back over the beads and locked down. Sidewall rubber is applied. The tread package is placed on top. Then the building drum expands, pressing the entire structure outward simultaneously. The flat layered assembly transforms into a cylindrical form. This is now called a green tire. It can weigh between 100 and 300 pounds. It looks finished, but the rubber is still soft. The layers are held together by nothing more than adhesion and pressure. It has almost none of the mechanical properties it needs to survive on a runway. To become what it needs to be, it must face extreme heat and pressure. The green tire is loaded into a massive two-piece steel mold. The interior surface of that mold carries the complete tread design, every groove and channel machined into the steel with absolute precision. The entire structure converted from a soft layered assembly into a unified load-bearing system. But before this tire touches a runway, it must pass through the most demanding inspection sequence in rubber manufacturing. No aircraft tire leaves the factory without a complete inspection. There is no acceptable defect rate. There is no margin for almost good enough. Every surface is examined under high-intensity lighting, tread face, both sidewalls, inner liner, for voids, exposed cord, contamination, or any deviation in geometry. Laser measurement systems verify diameter, section width, and concentricity at multiple points around the circumference. Any tire outside tolerance at any point is rejected. The tire is mounted on a test wheel, inflated to operating pressure, and held under observation. Any measurable pressure drop, however small, means immediate rejection. From initial compounding to final certification, certain aircraft tire models take between 6 and 12 months to complete. After certification, the tire is mounted onto a two-piece aircraft wheel. Both halves are inspected at all contact surfaces before assembly. The tire is positioned, the upper wheel half aligned and secured, and every bolt tightened to its specified torque value in a controlled sequence. Then inflation begins, not with compressed air, but with dry, pure nitrogen. Nitrogen expands less than air when heated, making pressure more stable across the extreme temperatures of flight and landing. It contains no moisture, eliminating internal corrosion risk. And by removing oxygen entirely, it eliminates any risk of ignition, critical given the extreme heat generated by aircraft brakes during landing. The wheel assembly is dynamically balanced to eliminate vibration at landing speed. Only then is it cleared for installation on the landing gear, from a precise incision in a rubber tree in Southeast Asia to a certified wheel assembly on an aircraft landing gear. The journey passes through latex cultivation, petrochemical synthesis, precision compounding, ply preparation, hand assembly, vulcanization, and one of the most demanding inspection sequences in manufacturing. On the outside, it is a black rubber ring, unremarkable to most people who walk past it boarding a flight, but inside are up to 20 layers of aramid and nylon reinforcement. Steel bead bundles wound under precise tension. A sulfur cross-linked molecular network built to absorb impacts that would destroy any other rubber product on Earth. An airtight liner holding 200 pounds per square inch of pure nitrogen, and a certification history that took up to a year to produce. The next time you feel the shudder of an aircraft touching down, tires hitting runway at 250 miles per hour, smoke rising, 400 tonners decelerating, you will know exactly what is happening beneath that plane. And you will know why it cost $40,000 to make sure it went right. If this gave you a new perspective on the engineering behind modern aviation, hit subscribe. Every week we go deep inside the world's most incredible factories and show you the manufacturing processes behind the products the modern world depends on.